The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
But my point was this. This government has acted in numerous ways illegally. In fact, it's been recorded that the president, when asked by one of his aides who said, "Hey, Mr. President, that's unconstitutional," he turns to that aide and says, "Find a way around it." And if you look at all of the things he's done, starting early in his presidency, it's all to evade and avoid acting under the Constitution. I mean, the Labor Relations Board is a prime example of that. He names these people when he says the Senate is not in session. A federal court has now agreed with that they were in session, and all those rules now are subject to what? Who knows what's going to happen with this? But, and again, I don't want to go through my litany of things. I've got it documented here, and I'd be happy to give this gentleman a copy or the press a copy of it. But is it time that we start looking at impeachment? Right now, the Republican Party has the control of the House, and that's where impeachment starts. And realizing probably we've been through the Senate, but shouldn't it be documented that this administration has gone out of its way to act in unconstitutional matter? I don't care whether it's with regard to illegal immigrants, the Defense of the Marriage Act, or all these things that his president attorney general is in contempt of Congress at this very moment. And we'll probably put in contempt on some other issues. And it's like, when do we say enough is enough? It's time to bring him to the charge.
Those kind of things happen in the ballot box. Unless he does something more direct, you make the point that he probably turns to his aides and says, let's find a creative way around that. Well, those creative ways keep you from having a direct basis for an impeachment inquiry. So the fact is, we have to remember the man was elected by the majority of people in this country. I don't understand it. It didn't happen in my neck of the woods, but it was. That's the way you change. You know, Justice Roberts, who disappointed me in his ruling on Obamacare, made the point that if you don't like the policy, vote different. You know, his job was to look at constitutionality, and he did do one good thing in that ruling. He called it a tax, which is what it really was. So my point is, I share every frustration you've got, but in the absence of him doing something more directly in violation of the Constitution that you can prove in a court, and that's what an impeachment process in the Senate would be, a court, we would be wasting time and energy when people care about the economy, like we just heard from that gentleman. That's what people really want us to be focused on, is jobs and the economy. And I wish to goodness he hadn't been reelected, but he was. And in fact, the majority of the Senate is with his party as well.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.